5 years ago, Monica Brown stood on the steps of a small courthouse in Atlanta, Georgia. The divorce papers in her hands were trembling, just like the rest of her body. She had no lawyer to guide her, no car to drive away in, and no family by her side to offer a comforting shoulder. Her husband, Derek Coleman, didn't even bother to look back as he walked away, his stride confident and unshaken. Derek was a man on the rise in the competitive world of real estate. His life was a whirlwind of new suits, new friends, and a brand new ego that seemed to grow with every sale. Monica, on the other hand, was pregnant with their twins. Derek called it bad timing. The day he left, his words cut deeper than any legal document. "Poor women slow men down," he said, his voice cold and detached. Those words became a scar on her heart, a constant, painful reminder of his cruelty. That year, Monica lost everything. Her marriage dissolved. Her home was sold from under her, and her dignity felt like it had been stripped away piece by piece. She found herself in a nightmare she couldn't wake up from, surviving by working exhausting night shifts at a diner, sleeping on the couches of kind strangers, and stifling her sobs in the dead of night so her newborn twins, a boy and a girl, wouldn't hear their mother's despair. But even in her darkest moments, life was quietly setting the stage for an incredible comeback. While Derek was busy closing deals and celebrating his success, Monica was channeling her pain into a fierce determination. She enrolled in online business courses, studying late into the night after her babies were asleep. She took what little she earned from waitressing and started a small side business from a borrowed corner of a friend's apartment. It wasn't glamorous. She was selling handcrafted baby clothes on an online marketplace. Her first sale was for just $15, but to her, it felt like $1 million. Slowly, painstakingly, her little business grew. Her unique designs and the heartfelt story behind her brand resonated with mothers all over the country. Orders started pouring in. Within 2 years, she had moved out of her friend's apartment and into a small place of her own. Within 3, she hired her first employee. Monica's brand, named Twin Flame, became a symbol of resilience and a mother's love. It was a testament to her journey from rock bottom to a place of strength she never knew she possessed. Meanwhile, the world of real estate that had propelled Derek to the top proved to be as fickle as his loyalty. A sudden market downturn hit his firm hard. His flashy lifestyle, built on a foundation of risky investments and borrowed money, began to crumble. The new friends vanished as quickly as they had appeared, and the expensive suits started to feel like a costume he could no longer afford to wear. One day, he found himself facing foreclosure on the very mansion he had once paraded as a symbol of his success. That's when he saw it, a magazine cover in a grocery store checkout line. The headline read, "Monica Brown, from homeless to CEO, building $1 million empire." There she was, his ex-wife, looking radiant and powerful. The article detailed her incredible journey, her struggles, and her ultimate triumph, with a company now valued in the millions. Derek felt a bitter sting of regret, a hollow ache for the woman and the family he had so carelessly thrown away. He decided to reach out. He found her number and called, his voice now laced with a humility he had never shown before. Apologise talked about his own failures, and then he had the audacity to ask for a second chance, even hinting he could help her manage her newfound wealth. Monica listened patiently on the other end of the line. When he was finished, she took a deep breath. "Derek," she said, her voice calm and steady, "thank you for the call. I wish you well." And then she hung up. She didn't need his validation or his help. Her success wasn't about revenge. It was about redemption. It was about proving to herself and to her children that love, resilience, and dignity are the most valuable assets of all. Monica's story reminds us that our deepest wounds can often become the source of our greatest strength. It is a powerful lesson in self-worth and the incredible things we can achieve when we refuse to be defined by our circumstances. 5 years later, we're at Lenning Square Mall in Buckhead, Atlanta. The place is buzzing, full of shoppers, and the scent of luxury. Derek strides through the crowd like he owns the place. He's dressed to the nines, a tailored suit, polished shoes, a watch that catches the light with every move. He's laughing loudly into his phone, exuding an aura of power and success. He feels untouchable, on top of the world. In his whirlwind of self-importance, he doesn't see the woman right in front of him. He bumps into her hard. Shopping bags fly from her hands, scattering their contents across the polished floor. The woman stumbles, catching her balance just before she falls, before she can even get a word out. Maybe an apology she didn't even owe. Derek explodes. "Watch where you're going," he bellows, his voice echoing in the open space. The laughter on his face has vanished, replaced by a mask of pure contempt. "People like you shouldn't even be in places like this." His words are sharp, designed to cut, to humiliate. The woman freezes, her eyes widening slightly. A few people nearby turn to stare, their conversations dying down. She looks up at him, and for a moment, Derek is taken aback. Her face, it's familiar, but different, worn softer by time. The sharp edges he remembered now smoothed over, and then it hits him. It's Monica. But this isn't the Monica he knew. Her clothes are simple, maybe even a little frayed at the edges. Her face is bare, with no makeup to hide behind. Her hair is pulled back without any fuss. But it's her eyes that are the most changed. They're calm, serene, even. There's none of the old fire, none of the panic he expected to see. A cruel, mocking laugh escapes Derek's lips. "Monica, wow." He looks her up and down, making his disdain obvious. "Still broke, I see. I guess leaving me didn't really work out for you, did it?" He gestures around the luxurious mall. "This is my world now. What are you even doing here? Window shopping for things you'll never afford." The venom in his voice is thick. He wants to hurt her, to prove that he won, that leaving him was the biggest mistake of her life. He wants to see her crumble. To drive his point home, he takes a step forward and deliberately kicks one of her fallen shopping bags, sending a box of what looks like children's shoes skittering across the floor. More people are watching now. A mall security guard takes a tentative step closer, his hand resting on his radio, observing the scene. The whispers start to ripple through the onlookers. But Monica doesn't flinch. She doesn't cry. She doesn't shout back. She just stands there, watching him. Her calm is unnerving. It's not the reaction he wanted. It's not the reaction he'd prepared for. He expected tears, anger, maybe even begging, but he gets none of it. Instead, as he stands there breathing heavily, waiting for his victory to sink in, a small, faint smile touches her lips. It's not a smile of pity or sarcasm. It's genuine. It's peaceful. It's a smile that says she knows something he doesn't. A smile that holds a story he can't even begin to comprehend. And in that moment, surrounded by all his wealth and supposed power, Derek feels a sliver of confusion, a tiny crack in his perfect facade. Why is she smiling? The question hangs in the air, more powerful than any of his insults. He suddenly feels small, exposed, as her quiet strength completely disarms his loud, empty rage. What happened in those 5 years that could lead to this moment? What Derek didn't know was this. Monica wasn't shopping for herself. She was picking up a custom watch, a gift, because Monica Brown was now Monica Harris. She was married to Elliot Harris, a self-made tech billionaire who built one of America's fastest-growing AI logistics companies. This whole scene, this misunderstanding, it started with a simple observation. Derek, a former classmate, saw Monica walking out of a high-end luxury store. He'd known her back in the day, the girl from the wrong side of the tracks, always scraping by. He saw the expensive bag in her hand and immediately thought, sugar baby. He smirked, already crafting the story he'd tell their old friends. "You won't believe who I saw today," he'd say. Monica, living the high life, must have found herself a rich old man. He pictured her dripping in jewels, her life a series of yachts and champagne, all funded by someone else's wallet. He felt a strange mix of pity and contempt. It was the easiest, most predictable story, and it was completely wrong. Let's rewind. How did Monica, the girl everyone wrote off, end up here? It wasn't a fairy tale rescue. It wasn't a desperate plea for help. She met Elliot at a women's shelter fundraiser, but here is the crucial detail Derek's version of the story would miss. She was there as a volunteer, not as a resident. For years, Monica had been dedicating her free time to the very same place that offered a lifeline to so many. She wasn't begging, she was Give him back. Elliot Harris wasn't there looking for a project or a pretty face to adorn his arm. He was there because his own mother had once sought refuge in a similar shelter. He was a quiet, unassuming man, more comfortable with data algorithms than with black tie galas. He noticed Monica, not for her looks, but for the way she spoke to a scared young woman who had just arrived, offering her a cup of tea and a quiet word of encouragement. He saw her strength, her empathy, her resilience. He didn't see a damsel in distress. He saw an equal. Their first conversation wasn't about his billions or her past. It was about supply chain inefficiencies at the shelter and how technology could help them get more donations to the people who needed them faster. He was fascinated by her practical, on-the-ground insights. She was impressed by his genuine desire to help, not just write a check and walk away. He didn't swoop in and save her from a life of poverty. By the time they met, Monica had already saved herself. She had worked 2 jobs to put herself through night school, earning a degree in social work. She had a small but tidy apartment and a life she had built with her own 2 hands. Elliot didn't save her. He respected her. He admired her journey. He fell in love with her spirit, the fierce intelligence and quiet dignity that had carried her through everything. Their relationship wasn't a transaction. It was a partnership. He never tried to change her. He just gave her the resources to amplify the good she was already doing in the world. With his support, her small-scale volunteering efforts grew into a full-fledged foundation that established transitional housing and job training programs across the state. If Derek had bothered to look at Monica's social media, he wouldn't find what he was expecting. There were no photos of private jets, no selfies from exotic beaches, no flaunting of designer labels. Her feed was filled with pictures of community garden projects, success stories from the women her foundation had helped, and nerdy articles about nonprofit management. She never dressed flashy. Today, for instance, she was wearing a simple pair of jeans and a comfortable sweater. Her real luxury wasn't the watch and the bag. It was the freedom to live a life of purpose, away from the judgment of people like Derek. The watch she was picking up wasn't for her. It was a vintage piece, meticulously restored for Elliot. It was an anniversary gift. Their anniversary was not a lavish party, but a quiet dinner at the small Italian restaurant where they had their first date. They would talk about their day, about a new coding challenge she was facing, about a breakthrough with one of her foundation's clients. They would just be Monica and Elliot. As Monica walked towards her modest, electric sedan, not a flashy sports car, she was completely unaware of the false narrative being spun in her wake. She wasn't thinking about appearances or what old classmates might think. She was thinking about the smile on Elliot's face when he saw the watch. She was thinking about the board meeting for her foundation tomorrow. She was living her life, quietly, powerfully, because that's the thing about real power, the kind that Monica possessed. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need to post luxury photos or wear flashy clothes. True power doesn't always announce itself with a roar. Sometimes, it moves silently, making the world a better place, one act of kindness at a time, completely unseen by those who only know how to look at the surface. And as Derek drove off, chuckling to himself, he remained blissfully ignorant of the incredible woman he had just so carelessly misjudged. 2 weeks later, an envelope landed on Derek's desk. It was heavy, black cardstock, with elegant gold lettering, a wedding invitation. He scoffed, a bitter laugh escaping his lips as he saw the bride's name. Monica. A wedding. Who on earth would want to marry her? The thought was almost comical. Still, a nagging curiosity wormed its way into his mind. He had to see this for himself. He had to see who this poor, unfortunate soul was. The day of the wedding arrived, bright and sunny. The invitation led him to a sprawling private vineyard in the heart of Napa Valley. The place was exclusive, almost fortress-like, with stern-faced security guards checking names at the ornate iron gates. A long driveway was lined with luxury cars, a gleaming display of wealth that made Derek feel a little out of place in his rented sedan. He handed his keys to a valet and straightened his best suit, feeling a strange mix of smugness and unease. He mingled with the other guests, sipping champagne under a canopy of grapevines. The air buzzed with quiet, sophisticated chatter. Everyone seemed to be someone important: investors, socialites, people whose names he recognized from business magazines. He scanned the crowd, looking for the groom, but saw no one familiar. Who was this mystery man? Maybe some desperate aging trust fund kid Monica had managed to ensnare. The thought made him smirk. Then, a hush fell over the crowd. All heads turned towards the entrance. A pristine white limousine glided to a stop at the end of the aisle. The sofa, dressed in a sharp black uniform, hurried to open the rear door. Time seemed to slow down. One elegant, satin-heeled shoe emerged, followed by the silhouette of a woman in a breathtaking white gown. It was Monica, but not the Monica Dara remembered. This woman was radiant. She seemed to glow, her smile confident and serene. The dress, a masterpiece of lace and silk, accentuated her grace. She looked like she had stepped out of a fairy tale. Derek's breath hitched in his throat. This wasn't the woman he had dismissed so easily. This was a queen. But the real shock was yet to come. As Monica stepped fully into view, another figure emerged from the limousine behind her. A man, tall and impeccably dressed in a tailored tuxedo. He offered Monica his arm, his expression one of pure adoration. A collective gasp rippled through the venue as the guests recognized him. It was Elliot Harris. The Elliot Harris, the billionaire CEO of Harris Global Enterprises, a man whose face was on the cover of Forbes, a titan of industry known for his sharp mind and even sharper business acumen. He was one of the most powerful and eligible bachelors in the world, and he was looking at Monica as if she was the only person on the planet. Derek stood frozen, the champagne glass slipping from his suddenly numb fingers. Oh, the color drained from his face. His heart hammered against his ribs, each beat a painful thud of disbelief. The smug smirk was gone, replaced by a mask of pure, unadulterated shock. The woman he had belittled, the woman he thought no one would ever want, was marrying Elliot Harris. In that moment, watching them walk down the aisle together, looking every bit the power couple they were, Derek knew he hadn't just been wrong. He had been a fool. An absolute fool. And this picture-perfect wedding was a testament to the colossal mistake he had made. What a story, right? Goes to show you should never underestimate anyone. If you loved this tale of unexpected turns, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. We've got plenty of stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Have you ever heard the saying, the best revenge is living well? It's a nice thought, but what does it actually look like in real life? Let me tell you a story about a woman named Monica, who showed everyone the true meaning of that phrase in the most powerful way imaginable. The scene is Monica's wedding reception. The room is filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses. It's the happiest day of her life. Her new husband, Elliot, stands up to give a speech. He takes the microphone, and a hush falls over the crowd. He looks directly at Monica, his eyes filled with so much love and admiration. This woman, he begins, his voice gentle but firm, so everyone can hear. This incredible woman right here was abandoned when she needed love the most. A few people in the crowd shift uncomfortably. They know the story. They know who he's talking about. Derek, Monica's ex, is in the audience, standing in the back, a guest of a mutual friend. Elliot continues, his voice gaining strength. She was kicked down when she had absolutely nothing. She faced hardship that would break most people. And still, through all of it, she chose kindness. He pauses, letting the words sink in. She chose to build a better life, not with bitterness, but with grace. She chose to love again, to trust again. She chose me. The room erupts in applause. It's a testament not just to their love, but to Monica's incredible strength. After Elliot's heartfelt speech, it's Monica's turn. Sis stands up radiant in her wedding dress. Everyone expects tears, maybe a few pointed words, a final confrontation. The tension in the room is thick. All eyes are on her, but her gaze finds one person in the crowd. Derek. He's standing there, frozen, expecting to be called out, to be shamed in front of everyone he knows. Monica walks slowly, deliberately, towards him. The crowd parts like the Red Sea. She doesn't have a microphone. She doesn't need one. When she reaches him, she doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't list his betrayals. She doesn't expose his cruelty. Instead, she looks him straight in the eye, and with a calm, steady voice that carries more weight than any shout ever could, she says just 6 simple words. Thank you for leaving me. Derek stares back, completely stunned. This was not the reaction he expected. He had prepared for anger, for insults, for a scene. He had not prepared for gratitude. Monica continues, her voice still quiet, but every word a dagger of truth. If you hadn't left, I wouldn't have found my own strength. I wouldn't have built the life I have now. I wouldn't be standing here today, married to the most wonderful man I've ever known. She smiles, a genuine, peaceful smile. And with that, she turns her back on him and walks away. Back to her husband, back to her celebration, back to her beautiful new life. The crowd, which had been holding its collective breath, explodes into the loudest, most heartfelt applause of the night. It wasn't just for the wedding, it was for Monica, for her victory, for her grace. And Derek, he just stood there, rooted to the spot. In that moment, surrounded by 100 people applauding the woman he threw away, he felt smaller than he had ever felt in his entire life. He hadn't been yelled at or exposed. He had simply been shown what he had lost. He was an insignificant footnote in the incredible story of her life. And that, right there, is a lesson for all of us. No revenge, no matter how elaborately planned, ever cuts deeper than quiet dignity and genuine happiness. Monica didn't need to destroy his world. She was too busy building her own. Have you ever looked at someone and thought you had them all figured out? You see their clothes, their car, maybe where they live, and you slot them into a neat little box in your mind. This person is successful. That person is struggling. It's a natural human tendency, but it's also one of our biggest blind spots. Today, I want to share a story that will make you rethink every judgment you've ever made. Meet Derek. Derek was the king of his world, a real estate tycoon with an empire of glass and steel that scraped the sky. He wore $1,000 suits, drove a car that cost more than most people's homes, and his confidence was as tall as his buildings. To him, success was a simple equation. Money plus power equals worth. Anyone who didn't fit that equation was, in his eyes, a nobody. One rainy afternoon, Derek was leaving a 5-star restaurant after closing a multi-million-dollar deal. As he stepped out, a woman, Monica, accidentally bumped into him, spilling her coffee all over his pristine Italian leather shoes. She was a single mother, juggling 2 grocery bags and a child's backpack, looking exhausted and flustered. "I am so sorry," she stammered, her face flushing with embarrassment as she fumbled for napkins. Derek looked down at his ruined shoes, then at her worn-out coat and frazzled appearance. He didn't see a person. He saw a problem. A nuisance, he sneered. "Watch where you're going," didn't even wait for her reply, just scoffed and strode to his waiting limousine, leaving her standing in the rain, humiliated and holding a handful of useless, soggy napkins. For Derek, the encounter was forgotten before his car even turned the corner. For Monica, his words stung. Another small cut in a life already full of challenges. Fast forward a few months. The world can change in the blink of an eye. For Derek, it did. A sudden, brutal market downturn hit the real estate industry like a tidal wave. His deals fell through, his partners bailed, and his once unshakable empire began to crumble. The phone calls started, one after another. Lawsuits piled up, creditors came knocking, and the debts mounted into an insurmountable peak. The friends who once clapped him on the back at fancy dinners suddenly didn't answer his calls. The lavish parties stopped. His world shrank until it was just him, alone in an empty, echoing mansion he could no longer afford. He had lost everything he used to define himself. The money, the power, the respect. One quiet, lonely evening, Derek was aimlessly flipping through TV channels. He stopped on a local news segment, and there she was. Monica. The woman from the rainy street, but she wasn't flustered or frazzled anymore. She was standing confidently at a podium, her face bright and her voice clear. She was launching a charitable foundation dedicated to helping single mothers get back on their feet, providing them with job training, childcare, and a community of support. A reporter approached her, microphone in hand. "Ms. Alvarez," the reporter asked, "you've built this incredible organization from the ground up. What drives you?" What's your motivation? Monica smiled. A warm, genuine smile that lit up the screen. She didn't hesitate. Pain taught me empathy, she said. And my mother always told me that kindness is an investment. It always comes back. Maybe not from where you expect, but it always comes back. Derek stared at the screen, her words echoing in the vast, empty room. Kindness is an investment. He thought back to that rainy afternoon, to his cruel, dismissive words. He looked around at his hollow, silent mansion, a monument to his collapsed ego. He had been the richest man he knew, surrounded by luxury. But in that moment, watching a woman he had once scorned, creating something beautiful out of her own struggles, Derry felt a new kind of emptiness. For the very first time in his life, he felt truly poor. The moral of this story is powerful. Never, ever judge someone's worth by their current situation. Life is not a snapshot. It's a movie with many acts. The chapter you're seeing today is not the final one. The person who seems down and out might be on the verge of their greatest comeback. The person who seems to have it all might be one step away from losing everything. True wealth isn't in our bank accounts or our possessions. It's in our character, our empathy, and the kindness we show to others, regardless of who they are or what they have. Because in the end, that is the only currency that truly matters. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that makes you think. See you in the next one.